episode 46. Hello, John.
Good afternoon, Stephen. And how are you?
I'm good. The sun is shining, which is good. Managed to get out for a walk. Went to Morrison's for lunch, which was very good. Well, when I said
I like
lunch,
Morrison's Cafe for lunch.
oh yeah, I mean
And breakfast.
Yeah, it was deserted. That's what we had. We had the full breakfast at Morrison's, and you can't get better value, and it's all cooked fresh, and you get your own table. There's nobody near you, and you get waitress service.
Oh, can't be bad at all.
It's not bad at all. I mean, we're in a small town. We're not in the big city, so we do get personal service.
Dawlish. I've never been to Dawlish. I've never driven through it or anything. So maybe that's something we'll have to put right next year when COVID's gone away.
Perhaps so. When we can go out and about. Angelica's daughter is planning a couple of trips for November and December. So looking forward to that. And we say hello to Kelly. Hello. Right. Okay. Now we have a.
He looks better in that photo than he does in his monster mask that he's been wearing.
Okay. John, where did you get the fish from?
The fish. Can you see all the colours?
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not normal colours. It was Invideo's fish for LGBT week or whatever it was a couple of weeks ago. And
very good.
I stole it out. Well, they gave me a PDF that included it, and I stole it out the PDF and turned it into an editable thing that I can play around with.
Brilliant. And we say hello to Chris. So we've got Chris and Kelly here. We can start.
Yes,
John.
You'll see more of this logo.
Oh, right. Okay.
Get my finger on the desk.
You're not using Chris.
Today's tutorial.
If I go like that, then you can't hear it, can you?
No,
that's
but I never meant to go like that either. But you've got clickety clackety clockety woo or whatever it is running in the background, taking out all the excess sounds. Okay. Hello to Chris.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Kelly can see the fish. Okay, so it's recognizable. John, could you tell us about this week's lesson?
Well, this week, a lady called Muriel asked some questions about bringing items from PowerPoint into Invideo. I did a quick little video, but it was 1:15 in the morning, and to put it bluntly, it wasn't very good, and I couldn't even remember some of my words that are everyday English. So I've re-recorded it. I've added in extra pieces that answer the questions that various people asked subsequent to the Diddy initial video, and it's the basis of today's tutorial.
I shall bring the tutorial up on screen. I'll take you off solo. I shall remove your name. We'll put the video full screen, and I'll turn your microphone off. I shall turn my microphone off, and we need hand signals so you can actually remind me to turn them back on again. Let's go.
It's the 17th of September, and join us for our Inspired by Invideo tutorial. And get yourself a cup of coffee, watch it and enjoy it. Hi. Earlier in the week, Muriel asked about how she could get a design that she'd created in PowerPoint into Invideo and use it in there. Now, I did do a video for her to show her how, but it was 1:15 in the morning in the UK, and I actually didn't do a great job of narrating it. And for the life of me, I could not think of the word transparency. So I thought I'd record it again, and I'd also put in some extra bits that answer some questions that came after the recording. So we're going to start here in PowerPoint, and Muriel wants to move a logo she's created in PowerPoint. So I've created a sheriff's badge, or shall we call it a sheriff's logo. It's just a simple star with a shape a round shape created here, and then I've put the word sheriff in the middle. So what I want to do is to export that. Now if you go over to File and you go to Export and you go Change File Type, then you can see that you can export as a PNG and as a JPEG. But there is a problem with doing this, in that if you choose to do that, it wants to save the whole slide, so you will get all of this excess of white area. And if we go save, you'll see says presentation, do you want to export all slides or just this one? So we'll cancel that. So you can see that if you export it, you get all of the excessive white area. Now if you're exporting it to use in Invideo, you're quite likely to not want to export the background at all. Now in PowerPoint you do this by creating a transparent PNG. So if we select the two components of the badge, what we can do is right click, select group, and we make them into a single object. Now one of the things we can do now is we can use these handles. Yes, these circles are called handles, and we can make it smaller. So if you think that you're going to change it there, you can see also one of the bad bits here is that I also need to change the font size. It doesn't automatically resize the font, so I need to just nip it down to make it fit. But you can see then you've reduced the size of what you're going to transfer into Invideo. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back on our single object that's now smaller than it was originally, and this time we're going to click right and then click save as a picture. So now all we are exporting is what is shown inside those handles there. Now here we have a decision to make. Yeah, we can export it in multiple files: JPEG, PNG, TIFF, Windows Metafile, Bitmap, Enhanced Metafile, and Scalable Vector. Scalable Vector is good if you want to be able to change the size of any object you create here simply by stretching it. Here we're going to choose a PNG. Now the reason we're going to choose a PNG is that the sheriff's badge it doesn't need the background, and the PNG in PowerPoint defaults to transparency, that magic word I couldn't remember in the week, and does not take the white background. So let's give it a name, and we're going to call it OO underscore PNG underscore sheriff underscore badge. Okay, and that's going to be saved in my pictures folder, which is on OneDrive. Okay, so now that's there. If we go over to the pictures folder, you'll see that we have JPEG, because I saved it beforehand, and you can see that this has a white background. Here we have OOPNG sheriff-badge.png, and you can see it has a black background, a bit like this 5-litre bottle of sanitizer here. The black indicates that it's transparent, and this is Microsoft's way of showing it when you look at the mini pictures that it creates of all the items in there. So we can bring it in. Now if we bring it in on the white, you'll see that the white comes with it on the JPEG. If we bring in the PNG, we won't have any background. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to Invideo. Okay, so now we're over in Invideo, and this is just a standard default scene, 5 seconds long. Build your own logo. So I'm going to add my logo. The important thing here is that you must make sure that you see the blue around the logo, otherwise what you're dragging over will fill the entire screen. Okay, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. So now we've got my logo, we've got build your own scene. We don't need any text for this, so I'm simply, now that I've highlighted all the handles, that important word handles, I'm going to press the delete key, and that's gone. Now when I drag it over, I want to be able to demonstrate that it's a transparent item I'm bringing over, or it has a white background depending on whether I bring the JPEG or the PNG. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to background. Now you'll notice by default it's locked. If I unlock it, yeah, I can now go into edit and I can change the colours, and at the moment it's black. So let's have a nice racy red colour for our background. Okay, so we can go back to layers, and to stop us making any mistake with the layer, we can lock it again. Okay, so we've got the logo here. Now one of the features that you can do is you can give your layers a name. So I'm going to call this TAD, as in think and do, logo. Okay, and because I'm on a image, the remove background is there, but we're not going to remove my image background. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is to bring over the item that we created in PowerPoint and upload it into my workspace on Invideo's website. So I'm going to go to upload here, and we know it's in pictures, and we deliberately put the double zero rather at the front. Now one person asked me yesterday why I put hyphens instead of spaces between words, and this is quite simple, a habit I've got into. I write a lot of HTML emails for people that bring in hosted images. Now if you have a space between the bits of the file name, when you view that HTML email in Gmail, it will not find the picture because it doesn't handle spaces in file names. So I have a force of habit now, having been writing these HTML emails for quite a long time, about 5 years. I've put the habit now of putting an underscore in. I can still fully know what it is, and I have no worries. Spaces are fine if you're viewing the email in Outlook. So here we've got, as we saw before, our 2 sheriff badges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload them both. So it's on its way up. I've got a decent web link, so it should be pretty quick. I'm fortunate that this week I've had my web connection, my internet, upgraded to a 1 gig downline and a 52 meg upline. So pretty quickly that's there, and that first one is the one that is the JPEG. I'm now going to bring up, well, I'll tell you what we'll do before we go any further. Let's drag the JPEG in and show you what I mean. Can you see how a JPEG brings the background with it? Okay, so we don't want a background, so what I'm going to do is delete that. And I'm also, so as there's no confusion over here, well, in fact, actually, look, let's leave it there because we know it's the one the one there. Let's upload the JPEG. Now Microsoft shows it with a black background. Now we open it here, it's uploading, optimizing, and oh dear, that's the JPEG, that's the PNG. They don't look any different, and I have actually no way of telling which is which, other than the fact that the order that I uploaded them in, which is shown down here. To avoid further confusion, whoops, let's just get rid of the JPEG. And I'm also going to get rid of the upload complete message. So now I'm going to bring that on, and look, instantly you can see that the sheriff's badge is there. Now, if you bought over something that was so big that, and we'll pretend I've bought something over that's too big and parts of it are missing, you can fix that inside Invideo. All you need to do is to bring it down to, you see, a corner with a handle, and then you can drag to make it smaller, and then you can pull it back. And you can repeat that multiple times if your image was far too big. Now, my experience is that they, when you drag an image on, it fits to the size of the workspace or the stage, whatever you'd like to call this area here, which, because it's video oriented, is 1920 pixels that way and 1080 pixels that way. But people tell me that when they bring things in, they have had them hanging off the edge of the stage. So now we've got what we want. Now, can you see these useful lines? That shows me I'm in the center one way, and that shows me I'm in the center the other way. So my sheriff's badge is now dead center on the thing. And that's how you bring in something from PowerPoint and are able to use it within Invideo. Now I've got that, I can do all the normal image things. I can go to the edit, crop it, I can do resizing, fit it to screen, crop it, whatever I need, and I can add a filter. Now, somebody the other day said, oh, they couldn't apply a tint to lower the colouring on their image, but you can actually use these here, and there's a whole load of them. Yeah, so you can see that they are having an effect. So if we look, for instance, go to Gingham, you'll see that's lightened it a bit. If we go to Moon, you can see that blows it to bits. Or we go to Sutro again. So you can apply all these filters, yeah, to play around with your star. I'm completely unsure about Pop Rocket. Goes a bit too pinky in the middle for me. But if we go back, and we'll apply none, but you can see how you can play with any image, and it works really well with photographs to create shades, types, feel and excitement even within your image. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at image animation. And last week I did a video on animation, and the new animation that has come out. So here we've got now a none, but we've got fades, shifts, slides, blur, zooms, and as you can see, many of them are from directions. Yeah, and when you hover over, you get a little idea of what it does. Now, oh, that's my phone you can hear. Sorry about that, I thought I'd turn the sound off. Anyway, from Impact onwards, these are all new and have been recently added. So if you see last week's video, there's examples of all of these used as ins and outs. And as you can see, there's loads of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to, well, I quite like this. We're going to back flip this from down. Now this is 5 seconds duration. So what I'm going to do is split my in place and my out into 3 timings. So I'm going to give it 2 seconds for an in animation, and in this case I've chosen backflip from down. Now in place there's a very limited choice, panning, zooming and zooming. I'm going to go for none, and I'm only going to leave that to be 1 second, but as you can see there's no slider, because that's the amount of time for the middle bit is determined by the amount you add here and the amount you add here. So if we go to out, okay, and I can add something else then. So let's add another one of these here. We've got bouncers, disco station, the drama. We did backflip. One I like, woo, where are we? Come back. Is blur and curl. And that goes around an axis. So X is across the middle, and Y is a vertical. And so we're going to do that. And again, we're going to add 2 seconds. So that's going to be 2 seconds of animation in, no animation for 1 second, and 2 seconds of animation out. Now, if you go over here to the media image, if we go to the advanced timeline, you can see these blocks here. They indicate the in and the out there, and you can jump between them simply by clicking on it here. So that's another way of getting to the image animation, and it's another way of seeing what you've done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the scene. So up it came from below, and then it's twisting off and going away to the right. Now you can say, well, they were a bit pointless, but when you start to work and use your imagination, you can achieve a lot using those different ins outs. You can have text coming in a fancy manner, dropping down, flying out, and all sorts of things. So that's my video now about bringing in a PowerPoint item and using it within Invideo. That's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
At this point, my instructions are to leave the video playing so that it doesn't get cut off. So hopefully I've done it right. And I switched John's microphone off. We'll take the video off screen and you'll be back to the two of us.
Yay! Well, that went all the way. But for some reason, partway through, we got a 1, 2, 3 appearing on the screen, but I don't know where they came from.
You know, I can see that.
So perhaps we'll have to ask our friends in Be Live what happened there.
Well, it doesn't go out on the video. It's just annoying. It's not. They're actually testing something. They're putting the marker in because they actually monitor the broadcasts. So, which is good because they monitor them for quality to make sure that the quality going out is good. Just a note, this video, if you're watching it live, is in 1080p. If you're on Facebook watching the recording, it's in 1080p. Just click the little cog and you'll see.
Can we answer Kelly's question? Kelly says you could do the same with CorelDRAW and Adobe Photoshop or more. Yes, the answer is yes, and I'm a CorelDRAW and Photoshop person, so I do all of mine in CorelDRAW and Photoshop. I only did it in PowerPoint because lots of education type people, they've got special cheap and free and dirty power. It's not called Office 365 anymore. It's called Microsoft 365 licenses. So, and that was, of course, the original question anyway. But yes, the same principle applies really whatever product you make your design in.
If you wonder what John and I are talking about, I'm just going to bring up on screen 2 links, and hopefully that will post. See, it's magical, is this, John? I love this. Just because I brought those images on screen, is posting the links to get to Invideo and to get to the group.
But we'll have to modify this Invideo one here because they don't use that logo anymore.
It just shows how long we've been going, John.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so the links have been posted. If you want to know more about the community, then please do join the community. You'll find John in there answering questions. But only for 7 days a week. He doesn't answer questions. He does answer questions every single day of the week. Right. Okay. Now, I just want to bring something on screen because I know Chris is watching, and Chris and I want to actually promote this, not only because it's got a video what I made in it, but also because of the content. So I'm just going to quickly switch off if I can find it. John's microphone and my microphone. Now, that video was obviously made with Invideo, and it's basically the images I brought in. It's two scenes. One was the front cover, and then this is the countdown. And with the countdown, I'll take that off screen. That's a little bit of software in the right-hand corner, which counts down from 30 seconds to, well, it counts down at the end. There you are. That's it. So that's another video made with Invideo. Proudly so. And if you get a chance to hop over to YouTube or to my profile, it's worth actually watching the full show because Carl did an amazing demonstration. So I'm going to bring John's microphone back, and we're back. Okay, so let's catch up with the comments. And got a comment from Kelly who's saying correct. He's agreeing with you, John. A comment from Chris. And Chris is saying we did PowerPoint at school. Okay, so there you are. It's everywhere, isn't it? Really, PowerPoint. It's sort of the default. I mean, I'm a Corel Draw. I mean, I Corel Draw back in the 90s, which shows how long I've been going and it's been going. And it wasn't owned by the people that... Sorry about that. You're talking, but there's no sound coming out.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. What were you saying?
When I had Corel Draw, it shipped with the CD drive to read the CDs with because CDs were so new.
Wow. And we don't even have DVD players in computers now. What's happening? What's happening?
The latest PC I've bought's got a DVD player in the desktop, but my laptop doesn't have one now.
Everything's online.
My laptop does have one because it's an interchangeable unit that's got a second hard drive in. But yeah, it's not shipped as standard. I can swap it out and put a removable one in.
Which is good. Kelly's saying he saw the broadcast with Carl yesterday. It's a good show. And I just want to say that it all happened because of Chris de Boven, who, like Carl, is in Belgium, and it was just a pleasure to actually do the interview yesterday. All right. Okay. So where does that leave us?
Well,
that leaves us.
We have a quick mention about the new Facebook and not being able to show scheduled shows.
You want me to rant again? You want me to rant again? This all started when we did last week's show. It's a bit of a rush and we managed to just go live. But Facebook have changed everything around. They used to do two posts, one which was promotional post and the second which had the video on. Now they've changed it and the video one is not created until we go live. So the one for this show was created when John and I went live, which means you cannot share it. And also, not only can you not share it, because we normally do share it into the Invideo group, you cannot edit it, because if you edit it, it disappears in a puff of smoke. Now, we have a situation where BeLive, StreamYard, Restream, and Zoom are all a little bit annoyed with Facebook, because Facebook didn't tell anybody anything. So they're working behind the scenes, hopefully, to actually get this sorted. So that's why John and I posted a link to YouTube today, because we knew YouTube is rock steady, better quality. No, I better not say that, otherwise we'll get taken off Facebook. It is good quality though on Facebook. It's good quality. if you want to know more, then if you check out livevideotraining.net, I'll post a link afterwards, and that gives you a full explanation of what's going on. But it affects everybody. If you are just scheduling the broadcast and going live, nothing's changed. If you're scheduling the broadcast, doing some editing and promoting, everything's changed, and you find out what you need to do in the blog post itself. Right, okay, now we've been asking for weeks. We have pleaded, we have asked, we have said, show us your videos, not show us your money, show us your videos. And this week, we've got a video. So we're going to play you a video, which is not by me, it's not by John. Who do you think, and he is watching, I know he's watching, who do you think this video is by? And I'm going to bring the video up on screen. And we're going to play a little bit of the video. So I'm going to switch John's microphone off again. Microphone.
So that's a bit of Corinda's. I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure whether there's any sound coming out or not. There's definitely nothing from Stephen.
Kelly said Kevin, which is quite a compliment for Corinda, really. I think Corinda, it's just brilliant that you actually create these videos. It's our pleasure to actually show them to people. And long may you continue to actually use Invideo to create your graphics. And just looking to see if there's any further messages. No, we're caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got
taught from Kevin, it would be jiu-jitsu, which his children are his two chicks, as they're called, are very into.
Middle chick and little chick.
Yeah, there is an older chick, but older chick is.
Don't call her old. I mean, she might not be into jiu-jitsu, but calling her old when she's only in her 20s would not.
I said older, not old.
Right. Okay. So we're going to go off and we're going to make some more Invideo videos, especially for upcoming shows next week. Okay. We are grateful for your company, but we have a tradition here, and tradition.
Somebody's posted a link to a video they'd like shown.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got to keep my eyes open, John. This is not good.
What we'll do is, it's too late now because we only do a half hour and we're already into our 35th minute. But Cherry Pally, I think that's how you pronounce it. We will have a look at your video and see what we can do about showing it to people next Thursday.
Brilliant. And thank you for watching us, and thank you for, we can see that you're actually on mobile, which is brilliant. Hopefully it looks good in mobile. Right. Right, John, we've got a tradition. It's over to you. I'm going to.
So it's from the two of us. It's goodbye from him. It's goodbye from me. And we will see you 4 o'clock. That's UK time next Thursday. Goodbye.
Bye. Yes, we've got a video, John.